The Complete Works of William Shakespeare by William Shakespeare. Act 2. Scene 1. Before Page's house enter Mistress Page, with a letter MRS. Page. What? Have I scapped love letters in the holiday time of my beauty, and am I now a subject for them? Let me see. Reads, ask me no reason why I love you, for though love use reason for his precision, he admits him not for his counselor. You are not young, no more am I, go to, then, there's sympathy. You are merry, so am I, ha! Ha! Then there's more sympathy. You love sack, and so do I, would you desire better sympathy? Let it suffice thee, Mistress Page at the least, if the love of soldier can suffice that I love thee. I will not say, pity me, 'tis not a soldier-like phrase, but I say, love me. By me, thine own true knight, by day or night, or any kind of light, with all his might, for thee to fight, John Falstaff. What a Herod of Jewry is this! O wicked, wicked world! One that is well nigh worn to pieces with age to show himself a young gallant. What an unweighed behavior hath this Flemish drunkard picked with the devil's name! Out of my conversation, that he dares in this manner assay me? Why, he hath not been thrice in my company. What should I say to him? I was then frugal of my mirth. Heaven forgive me! Why, I'll exhibit a bill in the Parliament for the putting down of men. How shall I be revenged on him? For revenged I will be, as sure as his guts are made of puddings. Enter Mistress Ford MRS. Ford. Mistress Page. Trust me, I was going to your house. Mrs. Page. And trust me, I was coming to you. You look very ill. Mrs. Ford. Nay, I'll ne'er believe that. I have to show to the contrary. Mrs. Page. Faith, but you do, in my mind. Mrs. Ford. Well, I do, then, yet I say, I could show you to the contrary. O Mistress Page, give me some counsel. Mrs. Page. What's the matter, woman? Mrs. Ford. O woman, if it were not for one trifling respect, I could come to such honor. Mrs. Page. Hang the trifle, woman, take the honor. What is it? Dispense with trifles, what is it? Mrs. Ford. If I would but go to hell for an eternal moment, or so, I could be knighted. Mrs. Page. What? Thou least. Sir Alice Ford. These knights will hack, and so thou shouldst not alter the article of thy gentry. Mrs. Ford. We burn daylight. Here read red, perceive how I might be knighted. I shall think the worse of fat men as long as I have an eye to make difference of men's liking. And yet he would not swear, praised women's modesty, and gave such orderly and well-behaved reproof to all uncomeliness that I would have sworn his disposition would have gone to the truth of his words. But they do no more adhere and keep place together than the 100th Psalm to the tune of green sleeves. What tempest I trow through this whale, with so many tons of oil in his belly, ashore at Windsor? How shall I be revenged on him? I think the best way were to entertain him with hope, till the wicked fire of lust have melted him in his own grease. Did you ever hear the like? Mrs. Page. Letter for letter, but that the name of Page and Ford differs. To thy great comfort in this mystery of ill opinions, here's the twin brother of thy letter, but let thine inherit first, for, I protest, mine never shall. I warrant he hath 1,000 of these letters, writ with blank space for different names sure, more, and these are of the second edition. He will print them, out of doubt, for he cares not what he puts into the press when he would put us to. I had rather be a giantess and lie under Mount Pelion. Well, I will find you 20 lascivious turtles ere one chaste man. Mrs. Ford. Why, this is the very same, the very hand, the very words. What doth he think of us? Mrs. Page. Nay, I know not, it makes me almost ready to wrangle with mine own honesty. I'll entertain myself like one that I am not acquainted withal, for, sure, unless he knows some strain in me that I know not myself, he would never have boarded me in this fury. Mrs. Ford. Boarding call you it? I'll be sure to keep him above deck. Mrs. Page. So will I. If he come under my hatches, I'll never to see again. Let's be revenged on him. Let's appoint him a meeting, give him a show of comfort in his suit, and lead him on with a fine baited delay, till he hath pawned his horses to mine host of the Garter. Mrs. Ford. Nay, I will consent to act any villainy against him that may not sully the shariness of our honesty. Oh, that my husband saw this letter! It would give eternal food to his jealousy. Mrs. Page. Why, look where he comes, and my good man too. He's as far from jealousy as I am from giving him cause, and that, I hope, is an unmeasurable distance. Mrs. Ford. You are the happier woman. Mrs. Page. Let's consult together against this greasy night. Come hither. They retire, enter Ford with pistol, and Page with N.Y.M. Ford. Well, I hope it be not so. Pistol. Hope is a curdled dog in some affairs. Sir John affects thy wife. Ford. Why, sir, my wife is not young. Pistol. He woos both high and low, both rich and poor, both young and old, one within. Other. Ford. He loves the gallimaufry. Ford perpend. Ford. Love my wife. Pistol. With liver burning hot. Prevent, or go thou, like Sir Actaeon he, with Ringwood at thy heels. Oh, odious is the name. Ford. What name, sir? Pistol. The Horn, I say. Farewell. Take heed, have open eye, for thieves do foot by night. Take heed, ere summer comes, or cuckoo birds do sing. Away, Sir Corporal N.Y.M. Believe it, Page, he speaks sense. Exit Pistol. Ford. Aside, I will be patient, I will find out this. N.Y.M. To Page, and this is true, I like not the humor of lying. He hath wronged me in some humors, I should have borne the humored letter to her, but I have a sword, and it shall bite upon my necessity. He loves your wife, there's the short and the long. My name is Corporal N.Y.M. I speak, and I avouch, 'tis true. My name is N.Y.M., and Falstaff loves your wife. Adieu! I love not the humor of bread and cheese, and there's the humor of it. Adieu! Exit N.Y.M. Page. The humor of it, quoth A. Here's a fellow frights English out of his wits. Ford. I will seek out Falstaff. Page. I never heard such a drawling, affecting rogue. Ford. If I do find it well. Page. I will not believe such a Catian though the priest O.T.H. Town commended him for a true man. Ford. 'Twas a good sensible fellow. Well. Mistress Page and Mistress Ford, come forward. Page. How now, Meg? Mrs. Page. Whither go you, George? Hark you. Mrs. Ford. How now, sweet Frank, why art thou melancholy? Ford. I melancholy? I am not melancholy. Get you home, go. Mrs. Ford. Faith, thou hast some crotchets in thy head now. Will you go, Mistress Page? Enter Mistress quickly. M.R.S. Page. Have with you. You'll come to dinner, George? Aside to M.R.S. Ford, look who comes yonder, she shall be our messenger to this paltry night. Mrs. Ford. Aside to M.R.S. Page, trust me, I thought on her, she'll fit it. Mrs. Page. You are come to see my daughter Anne? Quickly. Aye, forsooth, and I pray, how does good Mistress Anne? Mrs. Page. Go in with us and see. We have an hour's talk with you. Exit Mistress Page, Mistress Ford, and Mistress Quickly. Page. How now, Master Ford? Ford. You heard what this knave told me, did ye not? Page. Yes, and you heard what the other told me? Ford. Do you think there is truth in them? Page. Hang 'em, slaves! I do not think the knight would offer it, but these that accuse him in his intent towards our wives are a yoke of his discarded men, very rogues, now they be out of service. Ford. Were they his men? Page. Marry, were they? Ford. I like it never the better for that. Does he lie at the Garter? Page. Ay, marry, does he. If he should intend this voyage toward my wife, I would turn her loose to him, and what he gets more of her than sharp words, let it lie on my head. Ford. I do not misdoubt my wife, but I would be loath to turn them together. A man may be too confident. I would have nothing lie on my head. I cannot be thus satisfied. Enter host's page. Look where my ranting host of the Garter comes. There is either liquor in his pot or money in his purse when he looks so merrily. How now, mine host? Host. How now, bully rook? Thou art he a gentleman. To Shallow following, Cavallero Justice, I say. Enter Shallow. I follow, mine host, I follow. Good even and 20, good Master Page. Master Page, will you go with us? We have sport in hand. Host. Tell him, Cavallero Justice. Tell him, bully rook. Shallow. Sir, there is a fray to be fought between Sir Hugh the Welsh priest and Caius the French doctor. Ford. Good mine host O.T.H. Garter, a word with you. Host. What say'st thou, my bully rook? They go aside, Shallow. To Page, will you go with us to behold it? My merry host hath had the measuring of their weapons, and I think, hath appointed them contrary places, for, believe me, I hear the parson is no jester. Hark, I will tell you what our sport shall be. They converse apart, host. Hast thou no suit against my knight, my guest Cavallero? Ford. None, I protest, but I'll give you a pottle of burnt sack to give me recourse to him, and tell him my name is Brooke only for a jest. Host. My hand, bully, thou shalt have egress and regress, said I well, and thy name shall be Brooke. It is a merry night. Will you go, mine hares? Shallow. Have with you, mine host. Page. I have heard the Frenchman hath good skill in his rapier. Shallow. Tut, sir, I could have told you more. In these times you stand on distance, your passes, staccatos, and I know not what. 'Tis the heart, Master Page, 'tis here, 'tis here. I have seen the time with my long sword I would have made you 4 tall fellows skip like rats. Host. Here, boys, here. Shall we wag? Page. Have with you. I had rather hear them scold than fight. Excellent all but Ford. Though Page be a secure fool, and stands so firmly on his wife's frailty, yet I cannot put off my opinion so easily. She was in his company at Page's house, and what they made there I know not. Well, I will look further into tea, and I have a disquis. To sound Falstaff. If I find her honest, I lose not my labor. If she be otherwise, 'tis labor well bestowed. Exit Scene 2. A room in the Garter, and enter Falstaff and Pistol. Falstaff. I will not lend thee a penny. Pistol. I will retort the sum in equipage. Falstaff. Not a penny. Pistol. Why, then the world's mine oyster, which I with sword will open. Falstaff. Not a penny. I have been content, sir, you should lay my countenance to pawn. I have grated upon my good friends for 3 reprieves for you and your coach fellow, and Wyam, or else you had looked through the grate, like a Gemini of baboons. I am damned in hell for swearing to gentlemen my friends you were good soldiers and tall fellows, and when Mistress Bridget lost the handle of her fan, I took tea upon mine honor thou hadst it not. Pistol. Didst not thou share? Hadst thou not 15 pence? Falstaff. Reason, you rogue, reason. Think'st thou I'll endanger my soul gratis? At a word, hang no more about me, I am no gibbet for you. Go a short knife and a throng, to your manor of picked hatch, go. You'll not bear a letter for me, you rogue? You stand upon your honor? Why, thou unconfinable baseness, it is as much as I can do to keep the terms of my honor precise. I myself sometimes, leaving the fear of God on the left hand, and hiding mine honor in my necessity, am fain to shuffle, to hedge, and to lurch, and yet you, rogue, will ensconce your rags, your catamountain looks, your red lattice phrases, and your bold beating oaths, under the shelter of your honor. You will not do it, you pistol. I do relent. What would thou more of man? Enter Robin. Robin. Sir, here's a woman would speak with you. Falstaff. Let her approach. Enter Mistress. Quickly. Give your worship good morrow. Falstaff. Good morrow, good wife. Quickly. Not so, and please your worship. Falstaff. Good maid then. Quickly. I'll be sworn, as my mother was, the first hour I was born. Falstaff. I do believe the swearer. What with me? Quickly. Shall I vouchsafe your worship a word or two? Falstaff. 2,000, fair woman, and I'll vouchsafe thee the hearing. Quickly. There is one Mistress Ford, sir, I pray, come a little nearer this ways. I myself dwell with Master Dr. Caius. Falstaff. Well, on Mistress Ford you say quickly. Your worship says very true. I pray your worship come a little nearer this ways. Falstaff. I warrant thee nobody hears mine own people. Quickly. Are they so? God bless them, and make them his servants. Falstaff. Well, Mistress Ford, what of her? Quickly. Why, sir, she's a good creature. Lord, your worship's a wanton. Well, heaven forgive you, and all of us, I pray. Falstaff. Mistress Ford, come, Mistress Ford, quickly. Mary, this is the short and the long of it. You have brought her into such a canary's as 'tis wonderful. The best courtier of them all, when the court lay at Windsor, could never have brought her to such a canary. Yet there has been knights, and lords, and gentlemen, with their coaches, I warrant you, coach after coach, letter after letter, gift after gift, smelling so sweetly, all musk, and so rustling, I warrant you, in silk and gold, and in such elegant terms, and in such wine and sugar of the best and the fairest, that would have won any woman's heart, and I warrant you, they could never get an eye wink of her. I had myself 20 angels given me this morning, but I defy all angels, in any such sort, as they say, but in the way of honesty, and I warrant you, they could never get her so much as sip on a cup with the proudest of them all, and yet there has been earls, nay, which is more, pensioners, but I warrant you, all is one with her. Falstaff. But what says she to me? Be brief, my good she Mercury. Quickly. Mary, she hath received your letter, for the which she thanks you 1,000 times, and she gives you to notify that her husband will be absent from his house between 10 and 11. Falstaff. 10 and 11? Quickly. Aye, forsooth, and then you may come and see the picture she says that you would of. Master Ford, her husband, will be from home. Alas, the sweet woman leads an ill life with him. He's a very jealousy man. She leads a very frampled life with him, good heart. Falstaff. 10 and 11. Woman, commend me to her. I will not fail her. Quickly. Why, you say well. But I have another messenger to your worship. Mistress Page hath her hearty commendations to you too, and let me tell you in your ear, she's as virtuous a civil modest wife, and one, I tell you, that will not miss you morning nor evening prayer, as any is in Windsor, whoer be the other, and she bade me tell your worship that her husband is seldom from home, but she hopes there will come a time. I never knew a woman so dote upon a man. Surely I think you have charms, la! Yes, in truth. Falstaff. Not I assure thee, setting the attraction of my good parts aside, I have no other charms. Quickly. Blessing on your heart for T. F. Falstaff. But I pray thee, tell me this, has Ford's wife and Page's wife acquainted each other how they love me? Quickly. That were a jest indeed. They have not so little grace, I hope that were a trick indeed. But Mistress Page would desire you to send her your little page of all loves. Her husband has a marvelous infection to the little page, and truly Master Page is an honest man. Never a wife in Windsor leads a better life than she does. Do what she will, say what she will, take all, pay all, go to bed when she list, rise when she list, all is as she will, and truly she deserves it, for if there be a kind woman in Windsor, she is one. You must send her your page, no remedy. Falstaff. Why, I will. Quickly. Nay, but do so then, and look you, he may come and go between you both, and in any case have a nay word, that you may know one another's mind, and the boy never need to understand anything, for 'tis not good that children should know any wickedness. Old folks, you know, have discretion, as they say, and know the world. Falstaff. Fare thee well, commend me to them both. There's my purse, I am yet thy debtor. Boy, go along with this woman. Extant quickly, and Robin, this news distracts me. Pistol. Aside, this punk is one of Cupid's carriers. Clap on more sails. Pursue, up with your fights. Give fire, she is my prize, or ocean whelm them all. Exit Falstaff. Say'st thou so, old Jack? Go thy ways, I'll make more of thy old body than I have done. Will they yet look after thee? Wilt thou, after the expense of so much money, be now a gainer? Good body, I thank thee. Let them say 'tis grossly done, so it be fairly done, no matter. Enter Bardolph. Sir John, there's one Master Brooke below would fain speak with you, and be acquainted with you, and hath sent your worship a moment's draught of sack. Falstaff. Brooke is his name? Bardolph. Aye, sir. Falstaff. Call him in. Exit Bardolph. Such Brookes are welcome to me, that o'erflows such liquor. Ah-ha! Mistress Ford and Mistress Page, have I encompassed you? Go to, via. Re-enter Bardolph, with Ford disguised Ford. Bless you, sir! Falstaff. And you, sir! Would you speak with me? Ford. I make bold to press with so little preparation upon you. Falstaff. You're welcome. What's your will? Give us leave, drawer. Exit Bardolph Ford. Sir, I am a gentleman that have spent much. My name is Brooke. Falstaff. Good Master Brooke, I desire more acquaintance of you. Ford. Good Sir John, I sue for yours not to charge you, for I must let you understand I think myself in better plight for a lender than you are, the which hath something emboldened me to this unseasoned intrusion, for they say, if money go before, all ways do lie open. Falstaff. Money is a good soldier, sir, and will on. Ford. Troth, and I have a bag of money here troubles me. If you will help to bear it, Sir John, take all, or half, for easing me of the carriage. Falstaff. Sir, I know not how I may deserve to be your porter. Ford. I will tell you, sir, if you will give me the hearing. Falstaff. Speak, good Master Brooke, I shall be glad to be your servant. Ford. Sir, I hear you are a scholar. I will be brief with you, and you have been a man long known to me, though I had never so good means as desire to make myself acquainted with you. I shall discover a thing to you, wherein I must very much lay open mine own imperfection. But, good Sir John, as you have one eye upon my follies, as you hear them unfolded, turn another into the register of your own, that I may pass with a reproof the easier, sith you yourself know how easy is it to be such an offender. Falstaff. Very well, sir, proceed. Ford. There is a gentlewoman in this town, her husband's name is Ford. Falstaff. Well, sir. Ford. I have long loved her, and I protest to you, bestowed much on her, followed her with a doting observance, engrossed opportunities to meet her, feed every slight occasion that could but niggardly give me sight of her, not only bought many presents to give her, but have given largely to many to know what she would have given. Briefly, I have pursued her as love hath pursued me, which hath been on the wing of all occasions. But whatsoever I have merited, either in my mind or in my meed, I am sure, I have received none, unless experience be a jewel, that I have purchased at an infinite rate, and that hath taught me to say this: love like a shadow flies when substance love pursues, pursuing that flies, and flying what pursues. Falstaff. Have you received no promise of satisfaction at her hands? Ford. Never. Falstaff. Have you importuned her to such a purpose? Ford. Never. Falstaff. Of what quality was your love, then? Ford. Like a fair house built on another man's ground, so that I have lost my edifice by mistaking the place where erected it. Falstaff. To what purpose have you unfolded this to me? Ford. When I have told you that, I have told you all. Some say that though she appear honest to me, yet in other places she largeth her mirth so far that there is shrewd construction made of her. Now, Sir John, here is the heart of my purpose. You are a gentleman of excellent breeding, admirable discourse, of great admittance, authentic in your place and person, generally allowed for your many warlike, courtlike, and learned preparations. Falstaff. Oh, sir! Ford. Believe it, for you know it. There is money. Spend it, spend more, spend all I have. Only give me so much of your time in exchange of it as to lay an amiable siege to the honesty of this Ford's wife. Use your art of wooing, win her to consent to you. If any man may, you may as soon as any. Falstaff. Would it apply well to the vehemency of your affection, that I should win what you would enjoy? Methinks you prescribe to yourself very preposterously. Ford. Oh, understand my drift. She dwells so securely on the excellency of her honor that the folly of my soul dares not present itself. She is too bright to be looked against. Now, could I come to her with any detection in my hand, my desires had instance and argument to commend themselves. I could drive her then from the ward of her purity, her reputation, her marriage vow, and 1,000 other her defenses, which now are too strongly embattled against me. What say you to it, Sir John? Falstaff. Master Brooke, I will first make bold with your money, next, give me your hand, and last, as I am a gentleman, you shall, if you will, enjoy Ford's wife. Ford. Oh, good sir. Falstaff. I say you shall. Ford. Want no money, Sir John, you shall want none. Falstaff. Want no mistress, Ford, Master Brooke, you shall want none. I shall be with her, I may tell you, by her own appointment, even as you came in to me her assistant, or go-between, parted from me. I say I shall be with her between 10 and 11, for at that time the jealous rascally knave, her husband, will be forth. Come you to me at night, you shall know how I speed. Ford. I am blessed in your acquaintance. Do you know Ford, sir? Falstaff. Hang him, poor cuckoldly knave. I know him not, yet I wrong him to call him poor. They say the jealous wittly knave hath masses of money, for the which his wife seems to me well favored. I will use her as the key of the cuckoldly rogue's coffer, and there's my harvest home. Ford. I would you knew Ford, sir, that you might avoid him if you saw him. Falstaff. Hang him, mechanical salt-butter rogue! I will stare him out of his wits. I will awe him with my cudgel. It shall hang like a meteor o'er the cuckold's horns. Master Brooke, thou shalt know I will predominate over the peasant, and thou shalt lie with his wife. Come to me soon at night. Ford's a knave, and I will aggravate his style. Thou, Master Brooke, shalt know him for knave and cuckold. Come to me soon at night. Exit Ford. What a damned Epicurean rascal is this! My heart is ready to crack with impatience. Who says this is improvident jealousy? My wife hath sent to him, the hour is fixed, the match is made. Would any man have thought this? See the hell of having a false woman. My bed shall be abused, my coffers ransacked, my reputation gnawn at, and I shall not only receive this villainous wrong, but stand under the adoption of abominable terms, and by him that does me this wrong. Terms. Names. Amaymon sounds well, Lucifer, well, Barbazon, well, yet they are devil's additions, the names of fiends. But cuckold. Widow. Cuckold. The devil himself hath not such a name. Page is an ass, a secure ass, he will trust his wife, he will not be jealous. I will rather trust a Fleming with my butter, Parson Hugh the Welshman with my cheese, an Irishman with my aquavitae bottle, or a thief to walk my ambling gelding, than my wife with herself. Then she plots, then she ruminates, then she devises, and what they think in their hearts they may effect, they will break their hearts but they will effect. God be praised for my jealousy. 11 o'clock the hour. I will prevent this, detect my wife, be revenged on Falstaff, and laugh at Page. I will about it. Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Fie. Cuckold. 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 Exit Scene 3. A field near Windsor. Enter Cius and Rugby Cius. Jack Rugby. Rugby. Sir? Caius. That is the clock, Jack? Rugby. 'Tis past the hour, sir, that Sir Hugh promised to meet. Caius. By gar, he has saved his soul that he is no come. He has pray his Bible well that he is no come. By gar, Jack Rugby, he is dead already, if he be come. Rugby. He is wise, sir. He knew your worship would kill him if he came. Caius. By gar, the herring is no dead so as I will kill him. Take your rapier, Jack. I will tell you how I will kill him. Rugby. Alas, sir, I cannot fence. Caius. Villainy, take your rapier. Rugby. Forbear, here's company. Enter host, shallow, slender, and page host. Bless thee, bully doctor. Shallow. Save you, master Dr. Caius. Page. Now, good master doctor. Slender. Give you good morrow, sir. Caius. That be all you, 1, 2, 3, 4, come fo. R? Host. To see thee fight, to see thee foin, to see thee traverse, to see thee here, to see thee there, to see thee pass thy punto, thy stock, thy reverse, thy distance, thy montant. Is he dead, my Ethiopian? Is he dead, my Francisco? Ha, bully! What says my Aesculapius? My Galen? My heart of elder? Ha! Is he dead, bully stale? Is he dead? Caius. By gar, he is the coward Jack priest of the world. He is not show his face. Host. Thou art a Castilian king urinal. Hector of Greece, my boy. Caius. I pray you, bear witness that me have stay 6 or 7, 2, 3 hours for him, and he is no come. Shallow. He is the wiser man, master doctor. He is a cure of souls, and you a cure of bodies. If you should fight, you go against the hair of your professions. Is it not true, Master Page? Page. Master Shallow, you have yourself been a great fighter, though now a man of peace. Shallow. Bodykins, Master Page, though I now be old, and of the peace, if I see a sword out, my finger itches to make one. Though we are justices, and doctors, and churchmen, Master Page, we have some salt of our youth in us. We are the sons of women, Master Page. Page. 'Tis true, Master Shallow. Shallow. It will be found so, Master Page. Master Dr. Cius, I come to fetch you home. I am sworn of the peace. You have showed yourself a wise physician, and Sir Hugh hath shown himself a wise and patient churchman. You must go with me, Master Doctor. Host. Pardon, guest justice. A word, Mincer Mockwater. Caius. Mockfata. That is that. Host. Mockwater, in our English tongue, is valor, bully. Caius. By gar, then I have as much mockvater as the Englishman. Scurvy jackdog priest. By gar, me will cut his ears. Host. He will clapper claw thee tightly, bully. Caius. Clapper de claw. That is that. Host. That is, he will make thee amends. Caius. By gar, me do look he shall clapper de claw me, for, by gar, me will have it. Host. And I will provoke him to't, or let him wag. Caius. Me thank you for dat. Host. And moreover, bully, but first, aside to the others, master guest, and master page, and eke cavallero slender, go you through the town to Frogmore. Page. Aside, Sir Hugh is there, is he? Host. Aside, he is there. See what humor he is in, and I will bring the doctor about by the fields. Will it do well? Shallow. Aside, we will do it. Page, shallow and slender. Adieu, good master doctor. Accent page, shallow, and slender cius. By gar, me will kill the priest, for he speak for a jackanape to in page. Host. Let him die. Sheathe thy impatience, throw cold water on thy collar, go about the fields with me through Frogmore. I will bring thee where mistress and page is, at a farmhouse, a feasting, and thou shalt woo her. Cried Game. Said I well? Caius. By gar, me dank you vor dat, by gar, I love you, and I shall procure you de good guest, de earl, de knight, de lords, de gentlemen, my patience. Host. For the which I will be thy adversary toward and page. Said I well? Caius. By gar, 'tis good, well said. Host. Let us wag then. Caius. Come at my heels, Jack Rugby. Excellent.